How is the time of a provider to interpret that data getting reimbursed?
Even with the hurdles, the industry is continuing to see growth. I'm Chloe Nordquist reporting.
Chloe, thank you for that report. Well, that's going to do it for us today. I'm Michelle London. Denver 7 News at 5 starts right now.
Mile High Stadium's on fire. Mile High Stadium on fire.
Dozens of seats at Empower Field now burned to a crisp.
A fire spreads about 1,000 square feet inside the stadium.
We noticed a huge plume of black smoke that was transferring over the top of the stadium.
What we know about the fire that sent smoke across Denver.
They produce a great deal of smoke and a tremendous amount of heat.
And Governor Polis backs a bill aimed at harsher penalties for fentanyl dealers in hopes of getting the crisis under control.
This effort will absolutely go a long way.
And the president vows the U.S. will respond if Russia uses chemical weapons in Ukraine.
NATO has never been more united than it is today.
First tonight, that fire at Empower Field. Dozens of Broncos club-level seats are no more. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Jason Grenauer. Around 2:30 this afternoon, our Denver 7 newsroom noticed smoke coming from the inside of Empower Field.
And that fire quickly spread at least 1,000 square feet before fire crews got there and could put it out. We sent Denver 7's Ivan Rodriguez straight to the stadium to learn more.
And Ivan, the good news, we know no one was hurt here.
Nobody was hurt, Jason. We're standing on the north side of Empower Field right now. Right behind me, we had seen a big presence from the fire department, a lot of firefighters going in and out of the stadium. The fire's been out for about 2 hours now, but we want to show you some images from earlier this afternoon where you can really see that smoke and those flames leaving Empower Field. Denver Fire tells me the fire started around 2:15. The stadium was empty, but there was an event on the second level involving about 100 people. They were able to safely leave the area. Once fire crews entered the stadium, they found a fire burning in the suite area on level 4 and in the seating area on level 3. Denver Fire says the plastic seats produced a dark smoke due to the petroleum they're made of. Still, there's no indication of what started the fire. Once I arrived, I spoke with one man who says he was visiting from Delaware. He says he was on a tour visiting the stadium for the first time when the fire started.
I just came here for vacation, and today was my day to see the Broncos stadium. About halfway through, there was a fire. We had to evacuate. Just smoke took over the entire field from the press box we were in. It was insane. At first, it started off with like one seat on fire, and then it just took off. It was crazy.
In total, the fire burned about 1,000 square feet, but the big question on fire investigators' minds is how this fire even started. Live outside Empower Field, Ivan Rodriguez, Denver 7.
So many questions. Thank you, Ivan. Again, thankfully, there were no injuries in this fire. And since this happened at the Broncos Stadium, you know people had plenty of jokes, including our governor, who tweeted from his personal account a photo of the black smoke and his caption, "We do not have a new owner." That reference to the Vatican and the color of smoke when a pope is chosen, in this case, obviously referring to the Broncos not landing a new owner for the team just yet. Others on Twitter were hoping the fire meant new quarterback Russell Wilson is cooking up something good for the team.
Lawmakers are taking new measures tonight to combat the fentanyl crisis here in Colorado. Numbers from Denver's district attorney. Over the span of 3 years, the number of cases involving fentanyl have nearly quadrupled.
And DA Beth McCann says her office received just under 90 fentanyl-related cases in 2019. Fast forward to 2021, nearly 350 fentanyl-related cases were filed. And so far this year, the DA's office has received 160 cases. So now state lawmakers are pushing to find solutions and introducing new legislation to target fentanyl dealers.
Denver 7's Megan Lopez was at today's news conference and joins us live now. Megan, the bill is being labeled bipartisan and it includes services for those who suffer from addiction. What else?
Jason, there are more tools, there's more education, and there's more rehabilitation efforts that are all encompassed in this bill. One part of it calls for the bulk purchase of fentanyl testing strips. Another part of it calls for jails to actually hand out opioid antagonists like Narcan to people who are known addicts as they leave jail. And of course, there are harsher punishments for distributors included.
This was her final birthday, her 21st birthday.
If you take the time to ask Alden and Susan Globe about their daughter Madeline, they'll tell you she was a lot of things.
Compassionate, curious, smart. She was our life.
But there was also something she was not.
Not someone who was involved with the drug culture.
Madeline made a mistake. She took a pill she got from a friend, not knowing it was laced with fentanyl, not knowing it would kill her.
Our daughter was poisoned. She didn't die from a drug overdose.
Madeline is just one of the many faces of fentanyl deaths. Some longtime users, some first-time users, so many pictures of so many loved ones.
It's time for Colorado to do something and to get tough on fentanyl.
On Thursday, those families with their pictures joined a bipartisan group of lawmakers to unveil a bill to crack down on fentanyl. The bill increases the penalties for people selling fentanyl and lowers the amount in someone's possession that can be considered a felony.
The cutoff points are coming way down, which is critical.
It also holds the distributor liable for deaths caused by fentanyl they sell.
We are going to do everything we can to find that dealer, to figure out who is responsible and hold them accountable.
There's an education element and a rehabilitation element requiring treatment for addicts. It also dedicates $20 million for Narcan and naloxone to be purchased. Despite the bipartisan effort, police departments say the bill doesn't go far enough.
I do commend the Speaker for working to address this issue. What I can say is that I'm very disappointed that possession hasn't been addressed.
Denver Police Chief Paul Payson says any amount of fentanyl can be deadly, so any amount should be a felony.
The people that are distributing this deadly poison, they know exactly what the law allows at that felony threshold, and they are intentionally carrying just below that amount.
And he pointed out other less lethal drugs have harsher penalties than this.
Is everyone happy? No. But this is a solution that will work.
Lawmakers say this bill isn't a perfect solution, but it's a start. As for the Globe family, they hope distributors will be held accountable.
The best that our legal system could come up with in Boulder County was 60 days in county jail.
And they too see this bill as just the beginning.
So House Speaker Alec Garnett says there's going to be two parts of the funding. The one-time funding is going to come from the American Rescue Plan Act to kind of get things off the ground. The ongoing funding is going to come from the state. He also says that this bill is meant to work in conjunction with some of the other mental and behavioral health bills that we're seeing kind of make their way through the legislature right now. But supporters of this bill in particular say that they want to make clear that this bill is compassionate, it's aimed at being compassionate, and it's not meant to return to some of those war on drug policies that we've seen in the past. I'm live at the Colorado State Capitol. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
A lot of debate for sure to come on this one. Megan, thank you. Aurora leaders have had roughly 24 hours to respond, but currently no one with the city is confirming or denying what multiple sources have told us. Police Chief Vanessa Wilson is on her way out. Investigative reporter Jennifer Kovaleski broke the story last night on Denver 7 News at 10. Jen has a number of well-placed sources, and they all say it's only a matter of how Wilson chooses to leave, not whether she will. Wilson is currently out of the country. Jen is sitting down with her attorney, and we'll have that for us tonight at 6.
Today, RTD officially announced it is making safety changes to the terminal at Union Station because of a sharp uptick in crime. And one of the biggest things you'll notice next year are new turnstile gates that will only allow people with tickets access to the concourse of the bus terminal. And TV monitors with security cameras will be installed by the end of the year, in addition to better lighting around Union Station. RTD is hoping all of these additions will help keep the people and the area safe.
President Biden attended multiple summits in Brussels today with key NATO allies in a show of unity and support for Ukraine.
NATO has never been more united than it is today. Putin is getting exactly the opposite what he intended to have as a consequence of going into Ukraine.
In a coordinated move, the U.S., EU, and G7 nations are adding new sanctions targeting Russian elites, parliament, defense firms, and the country's central bank. Also, President Biden says the U.S. will respond if President Putin uses chemical or biological weapons in Ukraine.
President Biden also announced today that the U.S. will welcome up to 100,000 Ukrainian refugees to the U.S. Governor Jared Polis says Colorado is ready to accept refugees, saying the state, quote, looks forward to continuing to send strong support and necessary refuge to Ukrainians seeking to live freely, independently, and without fear in our great state and nation. As of tonight, there is no timeline or clear details on when exactly refugees from Ukraine could come to Colorado.
I really think there's so much more that we have in common than that which divides us.
Coming up, a one-on-one conversation with Douglas County's choice for superintendent.
And let's work towards our common ground.
Let's make some noise, Southwest.
Southwest just debuted a brand new hangar at DIA. That means more jobs for Denver.
But the preparation and planning for this didn't just happen overnight.